Hey love, so today we are going to discuss different types of attachment types and how they relate to relationships. I thought that this would be a good topic to cover because once we get into the polyamorous discussion, it will kind of let you know why some people are able to be in a polyamorous relationship. And so the three different attachment types are secure, avoidant, and anxious. The first one is secure. These people generally came from a loving family household where love and attention was normal. It was showered upon them without any need to feel like they were secure. And it's very important that when we talk about this, we are talking about what happened in their household while they were growing up. Because whether or not we believe it or not, that does play a key role in how we love as adults and interact in our romantic relationships. So going forward, when I refer to the different love styles, I'm talking about how they receive love in their home environment as a child and growing up in their development years. Okay, so generally speaking, this person is more confident in relationships and more secure within themselves because they aren't looking for love. They know love is supposed to be something that's natural to them. They don't mind if their partner is a free-flowing individual who has their own schedule, has their own lives. They're not checking up on their partner every 5 to 10 minutes. Or I'm exaggerating on that end, but they're not checking on their partner constantly. They don't have to be attached to their partner's hip. They know that they can live their lives, they can go to work, they can do their day-to-day routine, and their partner's going to be there for them. They also know that if something comes up in the relationship, that they'll work through it. They'll figure it out. They're not really trying to point the blame. They're more so and saying that they you know anticipated something horrible happening. They're just willing to work through whatever it is so that they can get what they need to get the relationship back on track. Now, on the other hand, you have the avoidant. Now, the avoidant came from a home that was much more, how we say, distant. The family wasn't necessarily a cohesive unit. There may have been some verbal or physical abuse. So the way they see love might be in the mindset if they get too attached, they'll get hurt. So they'll be more independent. They'll be less likely to want you in their space or to take over their lives. They don't want you to be controlling anything. They much rather, they be independent. Everything is them, them, them. Okay, and they don't see themselves working together. Now, the idea of you trying to take control may be led with some kind of combativeness or aggression. Like, basically, I'll be damned if you control me. I'm out the door. They're the fight or flight response type when it comes to being in a relationship. They're ready to run at the least little thing that happens in a relationship. They're ready to break up. They're not necessarily stable in terms of how they view love. They're looking for something bad to happen. And they don't want to get close because if they get too close, you might hurt them. Then we have those who are on the other end of the spectrum, and that's the anxious person who needs you to love them, who needs to be with you 24/7, and they're clingy, for lack of a better term. They check up on you constantly. They want constant communication. They want to be all up under you. Every waking free minute that they can, they want to spend it with you because they're afraid that if you're not around, they might lose you. Now, this relationship type came as a result of them being in a household where they were hot and cold, where one minute they were getting showered with affection, and then in the next minute, for no other reason whatsoever, their parents or parental figures were distant. You know, so they don't have consistency, therefore it creates an anxious level of love for them. So they tend to be more clingy. They're the type of person that if something happens, they blame themselves in a relationship. Or what did I do wrong? They go negative instantly. They don't look at it objectively like maybe the secure type would. And going forward, they will try to do things to make sure that their partner is pleased so that they don't ever leave them. So now that we know the different types, let's see how these types will pair together. A much more secure person could work with either the avoidant, another secure person, or even the anxious person, because with the avoidant, it will give them a sense that the person that they're with is secure enough to give them the space that they need, so that they don't feel like their lives is being melded too much and there's too much togetherness. Whereas with a anxious person, they will get the love and attention and level of security that they need from a person who's more secure. And in a secure relationship, they're both equally secure, so they know that there's no need to worry about the level of love that they're receiving. Now, a anxious and an anxious person, they are constantly feeding off of each other. So their love is kind of, oh, I need more attention, I need more attention. And they're kind of codependent on each other. They need to do everything together. They need to spend every waking moment together because both of them crave the other's attention. Whereas two avoidants are so polar, are so independent and are so separate. They lead separate lives. You know, they rarely do anything. It's like there's a wall in between them, and neither one of them is a cohesive unit, and is able to work together because they're both afraid that if they get too close, that either one will hurt the other. Now, the one relationship that is, to me, more toxic is when you combine a avoidant and an anxious, because the avoidant is trying to keep their independence and they don't want to get close enough to the anxious party, because the anxious party wants to always pull that love and that attention and that affection from the avoidant, and the avoidant is running in the other direction. So there's going to be a lot of arguments, a lot of tension, a lot of disagreements, and these tend to be the relationships that are toxic. So now that you know the different types of relationships and the different dynamics and how they work, I would like to know, which one do you think that you are? Do you think that you're a secure person who came from a loving household, who's pretty much go with the flow? You're confident in your love. You're confident when you're in relationships. You don't really worry. You don't have to check up on them. Or do you think that you're an avoidant where you kind of run away from commitment and you avoid and don't want your identity to be locked into another person? Or lastly, do you find yourself needing to spend countless hours with your partner and you're an anxious person? You can't be without your significant other. I will put what relationship attachment style I am in the description box below. Thank you all for watching this video. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. And have a rest day. Peace.